What's up YouTube? Barcode here. Today I'm bringing you another Dragalia Lost video. I've had a lot of questions about where to farm and where's the best places to farm. So this video is going to just specifically be based on what's the best place to farm and what goals should I be focused on in for the future. First, let's talk about our goals. What is our goals? Where are we in the game currently and what should we be focusing on? Well, I would say, it's not really early, mid, late game because it's only about a week into the game. So let's just go with like beginner, intermediate, and advanced kind of stages for everyone. In a beginning stage, there's definitely a couple things that you want to be focusing on when leveling up. First and foremost is experience level. At the top left, I'm currently level 80. Every level you go up, you do get a higher max amount of stamina. So once you are higher up, and XP will come just by playing the game. So just play the game as much as you can. Try to build up that experience. You could use your own hero, which would be, for me, Barcode, but it's the Fire Uden, and level his mana circle up to get that 10% more experience bonus. I personally don't do that just because I spend all my Wormite on just refreshes. I don't summon really at all anymore. It's just all stuff. It's all refreshes for stamina. So I just farm as much as I can, and that should be one of your main focuses too, is just getting that level up. Just play the game. That's the best way to do that. The second thing, early stage, would be mana circles. So, and the main thing about mana circles is for each of your characters that you plan on using, you should definitely get to at least the second skill, just so that person can put out more utility, more damage, whatever the case may be for that person. Let's just click on Fire Vanessa, okay? So, and I'll kind of show you what to focus on early stage of the game in mana circles. So once you're leveling up here, the purple ones are new abilities, and you should definitely focus on getting that first before leveling up anything else. Once you get to the second stage, you come up here and they will start getting new abilities to do either more damage or heals or shield or defense buff, whatever the case may be for that champion. But you should definitely focus on getting to at least level 11 in your adventurers so that you have more skills to use while leveling, okay? So that's definitely the main thing early game you want to focus on. Mana crystals will also increase your might at a higher stage than really anything else will. So, and yes, might doesn't matter to me, but it does matter when you have to get into higher stages to farm. That is where might recommendations come into play. Co-op might not necessarily be an issue, but when getting to a higher stage to be able to farm it, yes, that's the only really time that it really does matter. Another thing to focus on early game is your weapons. So early game I would suggest, because you can get to the mid game area, not mid game, but a little intermediate stage of the game pretty quickly to get the level 4 weapons and get the level 4 element weapons. But the early stage, beginning stage, I would definitely shoot for at least the level 3 element of the weapons. Now for level 3 weapons, what you really need, you don't really need much as materials wise. You only need the ore and the stones to get to the tier 2. I would definitely get to tier 2 max for sure with the level 3 weapons so you can get the second skill, which will also add a third skill to your adventurer, doing more damage, more utility, whatever the case may be. Now I would recommend getting maybe 1 or 2 core champions into their element, and maxing out that element weapon, which can be pretty easily done. It just takes these stones, which you can acquire, the granite, in the lower levels of the element stages, the onslaught, which comes later on after you complete the story, or the dragon trials, okay? It just takes the low level element orbs to be able to max out an element weapon. So I would definitely recommend getting 1 or 2 characters into the maxed element weapon, because that can still outbeat in stats a level 4-star weapon. Okay. Another thing to focus on will be buildings. So everything revolves around the buildings too. Getting to that level 4 in the intermediate stage, crafting level 4 weapons, getting into a higher halidome to get the smithy, a higher level to be able to do that. You need a ton of buildings. Okay, so the more you build, the more benefits that you can reap from that. Okay, so you always have to be having your builders building something, upgrading something, and to do that you need a couple different things, and this is where the best places to farm come into play. Now, some of the best places to farm in the beginning stage of the game is definitely Monday through Friday. You should definitely focus in on the element stones, the element orb dungeon, or whatever the day that is, which today, which is Thursday, would be the nature, the windmaw runes. Okay, all of my stamina, my current stamina, goes straight into running expert, and that's because I'm at a higher level. Early game, I would definitely suggest getting to a goal of farming at least standard on auto. Okay, in the beginning, when you're trying to level up your mana circles or your buildings, run beginner as much as you can, but when you get the standard and auto, that should be definitely an early game goal to get to. Everything revolves around element stones, element orbs. It's the buildings, the mana circles, everything that's really important. The crafting of weapons. It's definitely a benefit for you to spend at least 2 or 3 refreshes every day on whatever element dungeon that is running at the time. And only do that Monday through Friday when you're able to get up to expert, because when all the elements are open, which is Saturday and Sunday, you cannot run expert. It doesn't allow you to run expert. You can only run beginner and standard. So during the week, Monday through Friday, the element dungeons should be the main focus of most of your stamina during the day. Once you get up to the intermediate stages and you can auto expert without just putting down your phone and just pressing auto, that should be done every day until you get a significant stockpile of element orbs, because even at my level of facility level of 315, 317, whatever case may be, it takes a ton more orbs to be able to level up your elements, and even your halidome, you need element orbs to do that. So definitely focus on this. The other place to actually focus on early and even in intermediate stage of the game is the dragon trials. The dragon trials, which are definitely harder to auto for yourself, but they're important to level up the mana circles, even buildings, many other cases that why you need to farm the dragons, but it's definitely much harder to auto. You start out at the beginner level, being able to auto it. You might have to manual your own character, but with your own group you can auto it. Okay, but always, if you can, use your wings during the week on doing co-op on the highest level that you can. Okay, the higher you get, the better, because as you see in beginner, it only drops the scales. Once you get in the higher mana circles, you're going to need the greater scales. Now standard doesn't have that, but expert it does. Okay, so you need these scales to increase the mana circles, get to the level 2 skills, which is more of an intermediate stage of the game where you're trying to get to the level 2 ability of your skills. Now all this is when there's actually not an event that's going on that can be farmed. If there's an event going on that can be farmed, definitely take priority into that, getting all of your resources into the raid, into the events, whatever the event is, definitely focus in on those targets. But when there's not an event going on, these are definitely the places where you should be farming. Now, on the weekend, when the element orbs, you can't run expert, whatever the case may be, and you're just looking for a place to farm with your stamina, definitely run Avenue of Fortune. Okay, rupees are everything in this game. You need a ton of rupees to be able to do really anything. Okay, now rupees. Some people like to farm Avenue of Power. Don't farm Avenue of Power. All you're getting is, unless you really want to level up one specific unit as fast as possible, say you pull a new 5-star adventurer and you want to max level that champion, yeah, Avenue of Power is great, but if you're running it just farming because you don't know what to do, please stop that now. It's just a waste of stamina. You can use your resources much better in any other dungeon. Avenue of Power only gives, it hardly gives any rupees. All you get is the power-up crystals to level up your experience. The only things that drop, like I said, are these crystals. You're not getting anything else out of it. You're getting player level, which is great, player level experience. You're getting some experience for your character's baseline, and then you're getting the crystals to level up one champion. Okay, so it's not beneficial to use your stamina. You can use your stamina somewhere else, like in Fortune, and get a ton of rupees each time. You get weapons to upgrade your weapons. You get worm prints to upgrade your worm prints, and you sometimes even get random element orbs, the lower level. And so it's just much more beneficial. Plus, you still get the same amount of level experience, and you get adventure experience. So yes, this is a slower way to level up your individual champions. But once you're farming nonstop, you're going to be farming in this game for a long time. So why not take the amount of experience that's going toward your champions at a slower pace? Because the might level and the stat level wise that you're getting from increasing your champions individually in their level, it is good, but it's less beneficial on everywhere else on the map. So, and since Wormite, you know my pronunciation of that word sucks. Since it's so scarce right now because of refreshes being jacked up, and you at the max refresh it's 180 and probably even more. I always stop at 180 when it gets to that. But it's just much more beneficial to use your stamina elsewhere. Now, if you're good on element orbs during the week, you don't need to farm. Say you have like, 1,000 of the lessers, 200 of the mid-level orbs, then definitely Monday through Friday during the week, farm Avenue of Fortune. I mean, you're gonna need the gold. Look, I'm able to craft level 5 weapons now, okay? And what I'm doing, I just maxed out a base tier 5, 5-star katana, okay? It takes 25,000 rupees just to craft one. That's pretty much 5 runs of Fortune, okay? You're not going to get that amount of rupees anywhere else as a free-to-play player anyway. Anywhere else better than Avenue of Fortune, and you're going to need it. All your buildings need it. If you saw from before, some of my buildings, they take just the same amount of rupees to upgrade it. So rupees mean pretty much everything. Like I'm at level 19 rupee mine right now. Now that's a bad example. Sorry. The element orbs, which are important for damage up and everything like that. It takes 14,000 rupees. That's a level 17. But when you have 4 builders running, that's 65, 70,000, 80,000 rupees that you're going to need just to do 4 builders at one time when you get to this higher level. So you definitely need a stockpile of rupees at all times. So that's why Fortune is definitely one of the best places to farm. Let's talk about the intermediate, the mid-game per se, that you might be at a time. Now, this is when you are able to craft level 4 weapons. You got your Haldome at level 5 or whatever, Smithy level 4, whatever the case may be. Intermediate kind of stage in the game is where you crafting level 4 and you want to max out the level 4 weapons and the element weapons. Okay, you definitely 5-star maxing out an element at this stage of the game at a 5-star weapon is really hard to do. So I definitely recommend just focusing in on maxing out a level 4 weapon. Okay, so the level 4 weapons to craft, you know, just getting to the elements. Okay, so you have to unbind them to the max level to get to the element, but you also need these, which the insignias, which are in the onslaughts. The onslaught dungeons is when you complete your story on the easy level all the way, and then onslaught unlocks. Now onslaught is very hard to come by. Autoing, I auto like the standard level. I can't even auto anything higher than that. It's just too hard. The AI derps half the time, they standard red stuff, you know, typical raid mechanics that they fail at. So getting to this point, this is where after you have a stockpile of element orbs, after you have a ton of rubies, definitely use your stamina and wings towards getting this max level element weapon. Okay, now the insignias, as you can see, they do drop on standard. So if you're only able to auto beginner and you can't auto standard, then definitely I wouldn't waste any stamina on just trying to do standard and fail half the time. Okay, because half this game is pretty much just on auto. Okay, if you can co-op and you have wings, definitely do the highest level that you are able to. It's definitely beneficial. Now I would recommend doing that in organized groups. Pick up groups just by randomly joining a group is not the best, but especially with onslaught because of the difficulty level of it. But just definitely focus in on this later game so you can max those 4-star weapons, because the maxed 4-star element weapon is actually better than a base 5-star weapon. So and you'll use it for pretty much a pretty long time. So when you're able to do that, that's what I recommend for onslaught. So that's pretty much it for the best places to farm. Again, just a quick rundown. Element dungeon Monday through Friday at an early stage, farming it at least standard or preferably expert on auto by yourself with using your stamina for that. Doing the dragons with wings to get the scales to level up your mana circles, you know, and then on the weekend just farm fortune as much as possible. It's the best thing you can do at an early stage of the game, and that'll just open up many more things and make it easier so you don't have to wait a day or two to get back to the element orb that you missed or whatever. If you don't have enough gold or rupees, whatever you want to call it, that's just my recommendation on where to farm. So thanks for tuning in. I hope it helps, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.